I was dead asleep when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Ashley stirred beside me, her blonde hair splayed across the pillow, one arm draped over my chest like it had been for the past 9 years of marriage. I grabbed the phone to silence it before it woke her completely, squinting at the screen through bleary eyes. Instagram. A fitness guru. Tyler mentioned you in a story. I didn't know any Tyler. Didn't follow anyone by that name. My Instagram was mostly dormant anyway. Just pictures of our Labrador, Max, and some vacation shots from our trip to Yellowstone last summer. Half awake, I tapped the notification. The video loaded, and suddenly I was wide awake. It was Ashley, my wife. In someone's bedroom I didn't recognize, wearing the red lingerie I'd bought her for Valentine's Day 3 months ago. The same lingerie she'd claimed made her feel uncomfortable when I'd given it to her. The same set she said she'd returned to the store. She was laughing at something off camera, her hand reaching out to touch someone just outside the frame. The video was only 5 seconds long, but it was enough. The timestamp showed it had been posted 4 hours earlier, around 10:30 p.m. I'd been home by 9:00. Ashley had told me she was going to her book club meeting and wouldn't be back until midnight. My heart hammered against my ribs. The account that tagged me, eFitness Guru Tyler, was private, but the profile picture showed a guy in his mid-20s with the kind of sculpted physique that screamed, "I live at the gym." His bio read, "Personal trainer, Venice Beach, DM for rates." We lived in Santa Monica. Venice Beach was 15 minutes away. I sat up slowly, careful not to disturb Ashley. My mind raced through a dozen explanations, each one more desperate than the last. Maybe it was an old video. Maybe it was someone who looked like her. Maybe, no. That was our bedroom wall in the background. I could see the corner of the abstract painting we'd bought at that art fair in Laguna Beach, the one Ashley had insisted would really tie the room together. Except it wasn't our bedroom. The wall color was wrong, beige instead of the soft gray we'd painted our room last fall. I looked down at Ashley, peaceful in sleep, her face relaxed and innocent. This was the woman who'd cried at our wedding, who'd held my hand through my father's funeral, who'd spent last Saturday morning making pancakes while dancing to old Taylor Swift songs in her pajamas. This was also the woman who, apparently, had been in another man's bedroom 4 hours ago, wearing lingerie she'd lied about returning. I got out of bed as quietly as possible and went to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. My hands shook as I opened Instagram again, but the story was already gone. Deleted or expired, I couldn't tell which. I tried to view a fitness guru Tyler's profile, but it was set to private now, and my follow request sat pending. Think, Daniel. Think. I opened my phone's settings and checked Ashley's location sharing, something we'd set up years ago, back when she'd started her job as a pharmaceutical sales rep and traveled frequently. The feature showed her current location as home, right here in our house. But when I checked the location history, there was a gap. From 8:15 p.m. to 11:43 p.m., her phone had been at an address in Venice Beach. I typed the address into Google Maps. It was a modern apartment complex 3 blocks from the beach, the kind of place that advertised luxury living and probably cost twice our mortgage. My reflection stared back at me from the bathroom mirror. At 34, I looked older than I had at our wedding. Some gray creeping into my dark hair, lines forming around my eyes from too many late nights at the architecture firm. I'd been working overtime for the past 6 months, trying to make partner, trying to build the kind of future Ashley said she wanted. How long had this been going on? I thought about last week, when Ashley had started going to the gym at 5:30 a.m. instead of her usual evening routine. "I just feel more energized in the mornings," she'd said. I'd been proud of her commitment, even made jokes about her getting fitter while I was getting softer around the middle. I thought about the new clothes in her closet, the expensive activewear she'd claimed was on sale, the way she'd been more distant lately, always on her phone, always smiling at messages she never shared with me. The way she'd stopped initiating intimacy, claiming she was tired from work. My phone buzzed again. Another Instagram notification. Fitness guru Tyler has blocked you. So it was intentional. He'd tagged me deliberately, let me see just enough, then cut off access. This wasn't an accident or a mistake. Someone wanted me to know. I sat on the edge of the bathtub, trying to control my breathing. Part of me wanted to storm back into the bedroom, wake Ashley up, demand answers. But another part, the part that had spent years learning to think strategically, to plan 3 moves ahead, told me to wait. If I confronted her now, she'd have time to craft a story, to delete evidence, to prepare. She'd cry, apologize, maybe even convince me I'd misunderstood what I'd seen. No. I needed to know everything first. The full scope of the betrayal. Only then could I decide what to do about it. I flushed the toilet for appearances and washed my hands, then quietly opened the bathroom door. Ashley was still asleep, peaceful and beautiful in the dim light filtering through our curtains. I got back into bed beside my wife, and I waited for morning. I lay in the darkness, listening to Ashley's breathing settle into the rhythm of sleep. 43 minutes. That's how long it took her to drift off after climbing into bed beside me, smelling of lavender body wash and lies. My phone sat face down on the nightstand. Tyler's Instagram story burned into my retinas, even though I couldn't see the screen anymore. The block had been immediate, deliberate. He'd tagged me, waited just long enough for me to see it, then cut off access. Like slamming a door in my face after showing me exactly what was on the other side. I needed to think this through. Ashley shifted beside me, her hand sliding across the mattress until it found my chest. Even in sleep, she reached for me. The gesture that used to make me feel loved now felt like mockery. I waited until her breathing deepened further, that slight whistle she'd always denied making, then carefully extracted myself from bed. The hardwood floor was cold against my bare feet as I padded into the bathroom and closed the door with a soft click. The fluorescent light made me squint. I looked like hell. Dark circles, bloodshot eyes, jaw clenched so tight my teeth ached. I turned on the shower to mask any sound, then pulled up Instagram on my phone again. Tyler's profile was still blocked. No surprise there. But blocking worked both ways. He couldn't see what I was doing either. I created a new account. Random username, Ecal Coast Architecture. Added a generic bio about California design, uploaded a stock photo of the Santa Monica Pier as the profile picture. Nothing that connected to me personally. Within seconds, Instagram's algorithm started making suggestions. People I might know, accounts I might want to follow. I scrolled past fitness influencers, local businesses, random profiles with aesthetic photos of beaches and sunsets. Then I stopped. Venice vibes only. No profile picture, just a black square. Bio read, living my best life, no regrets. The account was private with 847 followers and following 923 people. I clicked on the followers list. Tyler's account was third from the top. My pulse quickened. I scrolled through the following list next. Ashley's main account was there. The one I knew about. The one with photos of us at dinner, vacation shots from Laguna Beach last summer, her carefully curated pharmaceutical rep professional image. I backed out and stared at the blank profile picture. Private account. Vague bio. Connected to Tyler. I sent a follow request. The shower steam filled the bathroom. I sat on the closed toilet lid, phone in hand, waiting. 3 minutes passed. 5. Then the notification appeared. A Venice vibes. Only accepted your follow request. My hands shook as I opened the profile. The first photo was from 2 days ago. A sunset over Venice Beach. Generic caption, perfect evening. I scrolled down. More sunsets, coffee cups, blurry shots of crowds at restaurants. The kind of content that said nothing and everything at once. Then, 6 weeks back, I found it. A photo of a woman's hand holding a champagne glass. No face visible, just manicured nails, French tips with a subtle shimmer, and a delicate gold bracelet I recognized immediately. I'd given Ashley that bracelet for our 8th anniversary. The caption read, "New Beginnings." 43 likes, including one from Tyler. I kept scrolling, my breath coming faster. Another photo from 8 weeks ago. A gym selfie, cropped to show only a torso in expensive Lululemon gear. The same outfit Ashley had worn last Thursday when she left for her early session. Caption, "Earned it." Tyler had commented, "Always crushing it." My stomach turned. Further back, 3 months ago. A photo of red lingerie laid out on white sheets. The same set from Tyler's story. The same set she'd told me she returned. Caption, "Treating myself." Why not? 27 likes. I recognize some of the usernames from Ashley's main account, her work colleagues, her book club friends, her college roommate. They all knew. They'd all seen her posting about treating herself and new beginnings and living her best life, while I sat at home thinking we were building something together. The bathroom door handle turned. I nearly dropped my phone. "Daniel?" Ashley's voice was thick with sleep. "You okay?" I flushed the toilet for effect, quickly closing Instagram and turning on the faucet. "Yeah, just couldn't sleep. Didn't want to wake you." The door opened. She stood there in one of my old t-shirts, hair messy, eyes half closed. She looked so normal, so much like the woman I'd married. "Come back to bed," she said softly. "You have that presentation tomorrow." Today, actually. It was already 3:47 a.m. "In a minute," I said, splashing water on my face. She padded back to bed. I watched her go, then looked at my reflection in the mirror. The man staring back at me looked like a stranger. I dried my face and returned to the bedroom, climbing carefully back under the covers. Ashley immediately curled against me, her head on my chest, her arm draped across my stomach. "Love you," she murmured. I stared at the ceiling. "Love you too." The words felt like ash in my mouth. I waited until her breathing evened out again, then carefully reached for my phone one more time. The fake account was still logged in. I went back to Venice vibes only and started screenshotting everything. Every photo, every caption, every comment from Tyler, every like from people we knew. My phone's camera roll filled with evidence. When I finished, I switched back to my main account and opened my messages. Found the thread with Jake, my college roommate who'd gone to law school instead of an architecture school like we'd planned. Jake. "Dude, you still up?" Me. "Yeah, can't sleep." Random question. "You still doing family law?" The typing indicator appeared immediately. Jake. "Divorce and custody. Yeah." "Why? Everything okay with you and Ashley?" I stared at the message for a long moment. Me. "Just curious. Friend at work going through something. Can we grab coffee this week?" Jake. "Sure, man. Thursday work? 7 a.m. at that place near your office?" Me. "Perfect." I set the phone down and closed my eyes, but sleep was impossible. Ashley's secret account had 847 followers. 847 people watching her document her affair, her new beginning, her best life. How many of them had I met? How many had shaken my hand at dinner parties, smiled at me across conference tables, made small talk about the weather while knowing exactly what Ashley was doing behind my back? The rage was there, simmering beneath the surface, but I kept it locked down, controlled, useful. Because here's what I understood now. Tyler tagging me wasn't random malice. It was a message. Maybe they'd had a fight. Maybe he wanted to blow up her marriage. Maybe he was just done being the secret. Either way, He'd given me a gift. Evidence. Undeniable, time-stamped, documented evidence. Ashley shifted in her sleep, her legs sliding over mine. I thought about tomorrow. Today, actually. My presentation to the partners. The project I'd been working on for 6 months. The one that could make or break my path to partnership. I couldn't afford to fall apart now. So I'd do what I did best. I'd build. Carefully, methodically, with attention to every detail. Not a building this time. A case. Ashley's phone buzzed on her nightstand. I watched the screen light up, saw the preview of a text message before it faded. Tyler. We need to talk. Call me when you can. She didn't wake up. The notification sat there, glowing in the darkness. I smiled without humor. Yeah, Tyler. I bet you do need to talk. But Ashley wasn't going to call him. Not yet. Because she didn't know I knew. She thought her secrets were still safe, buried in private accounts and late-night trips to Venice Beach. She thought she had time. She was wrong. The house was too quiet. I sat at the kitchen table, phone face down, watching the numbers on the microwave clock change. 3:47 a.m., 3:48 a.m., 3:49 a.m. Ashley hadn't stirred. I'd heard her breathing shift around 3:15, that little catch in her throat she always made before rolling over. But she'd settled back into sleep, the same bed where I'd slept beside her for 9 years. The same woman who'd kissed me goodnight at 10:30, murmuring something about being tired from book club. Book club. I pulled my phone back over and opened the folder of screenshots. 43 images. 3 videos. Every piece of evidence organized by date, backed up to 3 separate cloud accounts Jake had told me to set up years ago when he'd handled my parents' estate. Always have redundancy, he'd said then. You never know when you'll need to prove something. He'd meant property documents, tax records, not this. My thumb hovered over Ashley's profile, her real one, or Ashley Daniels, Shas farm rep, with the photos of us at Laguna Beach last summer, the painting we'd bought in October, her smiling with her sales team at some conference in Phoenix. 2,000 followers, professional, polished, the woman I'd married. Then I switched to Venice vibes only. Same woman, different life. The most recent post was from yesterday afternoon. A mirror selfie in what I now recognized as Tyler's bathroom. Black tile, industrial fixtures, that same window with the palm tree visible outside. She wore yoga pants and a sports bra, one hand on her hip, the caption reading, Tuesday Motivation, posted at 4:47 p.m. I opened her work calendar, the one we shared so we could coordinate our schedules. Yesterday, she'd blocked out 4 to 6 p.m. Client meeting, Marina del Rey. Marina del Rey was 12 minutes from Venice Beach. I started scrolling backwards through her calendar, cross-referencing with the timestamps on or Venice vibes only. Every post matched a blocked-out window. Every gym selfie, every coffee date with the girls, every late meeting or dinner with the team. 3 months of lies, organized in neat calendar blocks with professional-sounding labels. My hands weren't shaking anymore. That surprised me. The initial shock had burned through my system like a fever, leaving behind something colder, something that could think. I pulled up Tyler's profile again, still blocked on my real account, but visible through the fake one I'd created. Fitness, Jacques Guru, Tyler. His bio listed rates for personal training, a link to his website, and a Venice Beach address. The same address from Ashley's location history. He lived above his gym, or worked below his apartment. Either way, she'd been going to the same location for months, and I'd never thought to question it because she'd told me she'd switch gyms. Wanted something closer to her territory, she'd said. Made it easier to fit in workouts between client visits. I'd believed her. I'd helped her shop for new workout clothes. Tyler's most recent post was from yesterday morning. A shirtless mirror selfie with the caption, Leg day complete. Who's ready to crush their goals? 2,000 likes, 300 comments. His profile was public, designed to attract clients, showcase his lifestyle. Showcase my wife. I found her in his tagged photos. Not the story he'd posted at 10:30, that had disappeared after 24 hours, visible only because I'd screenshotted it. But there were others, older ones I'd missed during my initial search. Ashley in the background of a group training session from 6 weeks ago. Ashley holding a protein shake beside Tyler's supplement wall from 2 months back. Ashley laughing in a crowd of gym members celebrating someone's birthday. All public. All visible to anyone who looked. I'd never looked. My phone buzzed. A text from Jake. Can't sleep either? I've got a 6 a.m. slot open if you want to move up the meeting. I glanced at the clock. 4:03 a.m. Yes, I typed back. Your office? Coffee shop 2 blocks west, more discreet. I'll send the address. The address came through 30 seconds later, a place I'd never heard of, which meant it wasn't anywhere Ashley and I went together. Good. Jake was thinking ahead. I stood, moved to the bedroom doorway. Ashley was a dark shape under the white comforter, blonde hair spilled across her pillow. Her phone sat on the nightstand, face down, charging. The same phone that held Tyler's text. We need to talk. Call me when you can. She hadn't called him. Or if she had, she'd done it before coming to bed, before I'd gotten home at 9 p.m. But Tyler had sent that message at 11:52 p.m. after she was already asleep. Which meant she didn't know he'd tagged me. Didn't know I'd seen the video. Didn't know her secret account had been exposed to the one person who could destroy everything she'd built. Unless that was the point. I turned away from the bedroom, grabbed my laptop from my office, and sat back down at the kitchen table. Tyler's Instagram was still open on my phone. I pulled up his website on the laptop. Professional. Clean design. Testimonials from clients who'd transformed their bodies, their lives, their confidence. A booking system for training sessions. A blog with posts about nutrition, workout routines, motivation. And a section called Success Stories. I clicked through. Before and after photos. Names, ages, goals achieved. 12 different people, all glowing about Tyler's methods, his dedication, his ability to push them past their limits. Ashley wasn't among them, but the 11th testimonial was from someone named Jennifer K., 38, who'd lost 30 pounds and found herself again after her divorce. The after photo showed her in Tyler's gym, his arm around her shoulders, both of them grinning at the camera. The photo was dated 8 months ago. I opened a new browser window and searched Tyler Venice Beach Personal Trainer. His business license came up first, Tyler James Reeves, operating as Reeves Performance Training since 2 years ago. Then his Yelp page, 5 stars from 43 reviews. His Facebook business page, less active than Instagram but with the same polished branding. And then, 3 pages deep in the search results, a Reddit post from 7 months ago in a Los Angeles subreddit. Anyone know what happened with that Venice Beach trainer who got called out? I clicked. The thread had been deleted, but cached versions existed. I found one. So there was this trainer, Tyler something, who apparently was sleeping with half his married clients, the original post read. Someone's husband found out and showed up at the gym. Big scene. Cops were called. Anyone know if the gym is still open or if he got sued? The top comment. I heard about that. Guy's still operating. Changed his business name, though. Used to be called something else. Second comment. Predatory AF. These guys know exactly what they're doing. Third comment. My friend trained with him for like 2 sessions and said he was way too handsy. She switched gyms. The thread ended there. I sat back, staring at the screen. Tyler had done this before. Maybe not the Instagram story. That seemed personal, targeted, But the affair itself, the married clients, the transformation from trainer to something else, and Ashley had walked right into it. Or maybe she'd known. Maybe that was part of the appeal. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Jake. Bringing my paralegal. Hope that's okay. We might need to move fast on some things. Fine, I sent back. The clock read 4:31 a.m. 90 minutes until I met Jake. 90 minutes to figure out what I was going to do with all of this. I opened Ashley's location history again, scrolling back further than I had before. The Venice Beach apartment appeared dozens of times, but there were other locations too. A hotel in Marina del Rey, 3 visits. A restaurant in Santa Monica I didn't recognize. 5 visits, all during lunch hours when she should have been with clients. An address in Culver City that Google Maps identified as a residential building. I clicked on the Culver City location. She'd been there twice, both times in the evening, both times for less than an hour. I pulled up the building on Street View. Upscale, modern, the kind of place with a doorman and a monthly rent higher than our mortgage. Tyler's gym was in Venice Beach. He lived above it. So whose apartment was this? I zoomed in on the dates. The first visit was 4 months ago. The second was 6 weeks later. Both times Tyler had posted on Instagram from his gym, tagged with the timestamp proving he was there, not in Culver City. My stomach turned. Ashley wasn't just having an affair. She was having affairs. I sat in my car outside Jake's office building at 5:52 a.m., watching the sky lighten over downtown Santa Monica. The screenshots burned in my phone like evidence of a crime I'd witnessed but couldn't quite believe had happened. My hands still shook when I thought about it too long, so I didn't think. I just stared at the glass doors and waited. Jake's BMW pulled into the lot at 6:03. He climbed out looking rumpled, his tie loose, carrying a venti Starbucks cup. When he saw me, his expression shifted from sleepy confusion to alert concern. Daniel. He walked over quickly. Jesus, you look like hell. Can we go inside? He unlocked the building without another word. His office was on the 3rd floor, a corner space with views of the pier. I'd been here twice before, once when he'd reviewed our wills, once for drinks after a particularly good quarter. The framed diplomas on the wall seemed different now, more relevant. Jake dropped his briefcase on the desk and turned to face me. Talk to me. I pulled out my phone and opened the screenshots folder. Ashley's having an affair, maybe more than one. He took the phone without speaking and started scrolling. His face remained neutral, professional, but I saw his jaw tighten when he reached the red lingerie photo. When did you find this? 2:47 this morning. The guy tagged me in an Instagram story, then blocked me immediately. Tyler James Reeves. Jake zoomed in on the profile. Personal trainer. Venice Beach. This his apartment? Yeah, but there's more. I walked him through it. The fake account, Ashley's secret profile, the cross-referenced calendar, the mysterious Culver City apartment visits that didn't match Tyler's location data. Jake set down the phone and pulled a yellow legal pad from his desk drawer. Okay, first things first. Have you confronted her? No, she's still asleep at home. Good, don't. Not yet. He started writing. Does she know you know? No way. I left the bedroom before she could wake up. Her phone. Does she have biometric lock or passcode? Face ID. So you can't access it directly. He made a note. Does she use a laptop or tablet at home? MacBook. She leaves it in her home office sometimes. Password protected. I don't know. Never tried to access it. Jake looked up. Here's what you need to understand, Daniel. California is a no-fault divorce state. Adultery doesn't affect the divorce itself. You don't need to prove infidelity to end the marriage. But it can absolutely affect spousal support and property division if you can prove she spent marital assets on the affair. My stomach tightened. How much are we talking? Depends on what you can document. hotels, gifts, trips, anything she paid for with joint accounts or credit cards. If she's been funding this relationship with your money, that's called dissipation of marital assets. The court can award you reimbursement. I thought about our joint checking account, the credit cards we shared. She handles most of the bills. Then we need to pull every bank statement and credit card record for the past year. Maybe longer, depending on how long this has been going on. He flipped to a new page. You said her secret Instagram goes back at least 3 months? That's as far as I scrolled. Could be longer. We'll assume longer. These things don't start with public documentation. Jake tapped his pen against the pad. Tell me about your assets. House? Jointly owned. We bought it 6 years ago, worth about $1.8 million now. Mortgage is down to $620,000. Retirement accounts? I've got a 401k through the firm, about $240,000. She has something through her company, not sure how much. We'll find out. Other investments? Savings? Joint savings account, maybe $85,000. I have a separate account from before we married with about $30,000. I never merged it. Jake made a note with a star next to it. That separate account is your separate property. Don't touch it. Don't commingle it. It stays yours no matter what. Okay. Cars? Both leased through my firm's program. Her Audi, my Lexus. Debt besides the mortgage? Credit cards? Maybe $15,000 total? We pay them off most months. Jake set down his pen and looked at me directly. Daniel, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest. Have you ever been unfaithful to Ashley? No, never. Not even close? Emotional affair? Inappropriate texting? Anything she could use against you? Nothing. I've been completely faithful. He nodded. Good. Because if this goes to court, she'll look for anything to muddy the waters. Now, kids? No. That simplifies things. He made another note. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Today, right now, you're going to go to your bank and pull statements for every joint account going back 18 months. Then you're going to request copies of every credit card statement for the same period. Don't access them online if you can avoid it. We don't want any digital trail showing you're gathering evidence. She'll see the bank charges on our account. Doesn't matter. You have every legal right to access your own financial records. If she asks, you're reviewing your accounts for a refinance consultation. But I'm betting she won't notice. People having affairs are usually too distracted to monitor bank charges. I pulled out my phone and opened my Notes app. What else? Access that MacBook if you can. We need her emails, especially anything related to travel bookings, hotel confirmations, anything that shows she spent money on this affair. If you can't get into the laptop, we'll subpoena her email provider later, but it's better if we have it now. What about her phone? Too risky. If she has alerts enabled, she'll know if you try to access it. Stick with what you can document independently. He flipped back through his notes. This Culver City apartment, you said she went there twice when Tyler was provably elsewhere? Yeah. Once on a Thursday afternoon, once on a Saturday morning. Both times Tyler posted Instagram stories from Venice Beach. So either she's seeing someone else, or that's where she's meeting Tyler and his social media is misdirection. Jake frowned. Do you have the address? I pulled it up on my phone. 4847 Sepulveda Boulevard. Luxury complex called the Madison. Jake wrote it down. I'm going to have an investigator check it out. See who lives there, who's on the lease. If there's another man, we need to know. Jesus, I rubbed my face. How did I miss this? Don't do that to yourself. People having affairs are experts at deception. They have to be. He closed the legal pad. Listen, Daniel. The next few weeks are going to be hell. You're going to want to confront her, to scream, to demand answers. Don't. Every interaction you have with her from this moment forward is potentially evidence. Stay calm, stay civil, and document everything. How long before I can file? Depends on how fast we can gather evidence and how strong a case we want to build. Minimum 2 weeks, probably closer to a month. He saw my expression. I know that feels like forever, but if you confront her now, she'll have time to hide assets, delete evidence, build her own case. We need to move first, and we need to move with overwhelming documentation. I thought about going home, about sitting across from Ashley at breakfast, watching her lie about her day, about where she was going and who she'd be seeing. I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can. Because the alternative is letting her control the narrative. And trust me, Daniel, if she realizes you know before we're ready, she'll spin this into something where somehow you're the bad guy. The husband who didn't pay enough attention, who worked too much, who drove her into someone else's arms. Jake's expression hardened. I've seen it 100 times. Don't let her get there first. I stood up, my legs unsteady. Okay, bank statements, credit cards, laptop if I can access it. What else? Keep documenting her location. Every time she says she's going somewhere, verify it. Screenshots, timestamps, everything. And Daniel? He walked around the desk. Change your passwords, all of them. Email, bank accounts, social media, everything. Use passwords she couldn't guess. Do it today. She'll notice if she tries to access my accounts. Good. Let her wonder. But more importantly, we need to make sure she can't delete anything you've saved or access your communications with me. Attorney-client privilege protects our conversations, but only if she can't intercept them. I nodded, trying to process everything. Jake put a hand on my shoulder. You're going to get through this, and when it's over, you're going to have your life back. A real life, not one built on lies. I walked toward the door, then stopped. That investigator you mentioned, how fast can they check out the Culver City apartment? I'll have preliminary information by tomorrow morning. Full report within a week. Do it. The sun had fully risen by the time I reached my car. Somewhere across town, Ashley was probably waking up, reaching for her phone, starting another day of deception. Not for much longer. I pulled up my banking app and started changing passwords. The coffee shop's fluorescent lights felt too bright, too normal. I sat across from Jake in a corner booth, my laptop open between us, a half-empty cup of black coffee growing cold at my elbow. Show me everything, Jake said. I walked him through it. Ashley's secret Instagram. The timeline of lies. The location data that didn't match her calendar. The Culver City apartment that Tyler had never visited. Jake's expression didn't change. He took notes on a yellow legal pad, his handwriting precise and controlled. The Culver City location, he said. That's your wild card. Could be nothing. Could be everything. I need to know who lives there. No. Jake's voice was firm. You need to stay away from there. That's what the PI is for. You start showing up at random apartments, you look like the bad guy. Judges don't like stalkers. I'm not stalking, I'm gathering evidence, I know. He tapped his pen against the pad. But there's a line. Don't cross it. My phone buzzed. A text from Ashley. Morning, babe. Early meeting moved to 9. Grabbing breakfast at that place you love. Want me to bring you something? I stared at the message. The casual affection. The thoughtful offer. Like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't spent last night doing God knows what while I lay awake cataloging her betrayals. She's texting me, I said. Don't respond yet. What does it say? I showed him. Jake read it, then looked at me. Where are you supposed to be right now? Home, asleep. I told her last night I had early meetings all week. Good. Maintain the routine. Text her back in 20 minutes. Say you already ate, but thanks. Keep it normal. Normal. The word felt like a joke. I can't go home and pretend, I said. I can't look at her and... You can. You will. Jake leaned forward. Daniel, listen to me. The next few weeks determine the rest of your life. How you handle this, what evidence you gather, whether you maintain control, it all matters. You go home angry, You confront her now. She lawyers up and we lose the advantage. What advantage? She's the one who… Exactly. She's the one who cheated. She's the one with the secret accounts and the lies. But the second she knows you know, she starts covering her tracks, deleting evidence, moving money, building her own narrative. He paused. Right now, you have something she doesn't. Information. Don't give that up for the satisfaction of a confrontation. My hands clenched around the coffee cup. How long? I asked. How long do I have to pretend? 2 weeks, maybe 3. Long enough for the PI to document everything. Long enough for you to secure the financial records. Long enough to build a case she can't fight. 2 weeks of sleeping next to her. 2 weeks of good morning kisses and how was your day and I love you. 2 weeks of lies on top of lies. I'll send you the PI's information, Jake said. Her name's Diane Kruger. Former LAPD runs her own firm now. She's expensive, but she's worth it. I'll call her this morning, give her the basics. You'll meet with her tomorrow. He closed his legal pad. In the meantime, you need to do 3 things. First, make copies of everything. Bank statements, credit card bills, tax returns, investment accounts, everything. Don't take the originals, just photograph them. Store the photos somewhere she can't access. I nodded. Second, check your credit report. Make sure she hasn't opened any accounts in your name. I've seen that before. Cheating spouse racks up debt, tries to hide it. Ashley has a secret Instagram account with 800 followers documenting her affair. Ashley lies about her location 3 times a week. Ashley is not the person you think she is. His voice softened slightly. Check the credit report. He was right. I didn't know what Ashley would or wouldn't do anymore. Third, Jake continued, start documenting your own routine. Where you are, what you're doing, who you're with, receipts, photos, calendar entries. If this gets ugly, and it might, you want proof that you were the faithful spouse maintaining the household while she was off doing whatever she was doing. You think she'll try to make me look bad? I think people do desperate things when they're cornered. I think you should be prepared for anything. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Ashley. Okay, love you. Have a great day. 3 exclamation points. A heart emoji. I felt sick. Text her back, Jake said. Keep it light. I typed with numb fingers. Love you too. Good luck with your meeting. I added a kiss emoji. It felt like swallowing glass. Good, Jake said. Now go home, shower, go to work. Act like everything's fine. I have a client presentation at 10. Perfect. Normal routine. Can you focus? Could I? I'd been awake for over 24 hours. My wife was a stranger. My marriage was a performance. But I was an architect. I'd spent years learning to compartmentalize, to separate the creative from the technical, to present confidence even when the design was falling apart. I can focus, I said. Then go do that. I'll email you Diane's contact information. Meet with her tomorrow. Tell her everything. Let her do the surveillance work. You just maintain the facade. I closed my laptop. Stood. My legs felt unsteady. Daniel. Jake's voice stopped me. One more thing. Don't tell anyone else. Not your parents, not your friends, not your coworkers. The more people who know, the more likely it gets back to Ashley. Keep this tight. What about you? You knew immediately. I'm your lawyer, attorney-client privilege, but everyone else? Their liabilities. I nodded. Walked toward the door. The morning sun was bright outside, traffic already building on Wilshire. People heading to work. Normal Tuesday morning. Normal lives. Mine had ended at 2:47 a.m., but no one else knew it yet. I drove home on autopilot. Our house looked the same. Cream-colored exterior, Spanish tile roof, The olive tree in the front yard that Ashley had insisted on planting 3 years ago. She'd wanted it to symbolize longevity, she'd said. Roots, permanence. I pulled into the driveway. Her car was already gone. Off to her early meeting that probably didn't exist. Inside, the house smelled like her perfume. Coffee from the automatic timer. Everything in its place. I walked upstairs to our bedroom. The bed was made. Ashley always made the bed, even on her busiest mornings. Hospital corners, decorative pillows arranged just so. I stood there looking at it. This bed where we'd slept together for 9 years. Where we'd made love and fought and reconciled and dreamed about the future. This bed where I'd lain awake last night while she was in someone else's bedroom wearing lingerie I'd bought her. My phone buzzed. Email from Jake with Diane's information and a meeting time. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., her office in Century City. Another email. Work. The client presentation. I needed to review the renderings, check the materials board, make sure everything was perfect. I could do this. I could present the facade of a successful architect with a happy marriage and a bright future. I'd been doing it for months without knowing it was a facade. Now I just had to do it consciously. I showered, shaved, put on the charcoal suit Ashley had helped me pick out last month. She'd said it made me look distinguished, successful, like someone people wanted to trust. I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. Same face, same eyes. But everything behind them had changed. My phone buzzed again. Text from Ashley. Meeting went great. Might grab lunch with Kelly after. Home by 3. Want to do dinner out tonight? That Italian place? Kelly. I pulled up Ashley's calendar on the shared account. No lunch with Kelly scheduled. I checked Kelly's Instagram. She'd posted a story 20 minutes ago from her office in Pasadena. Not having lunch with Ashley. Another lie. So casual. So effortless. I texted back. Sounds good. Make a reservation? Already did. 7:30. Can't wait. Love you. I pocketed my phone, grabbed my laptop bag, headed for the door. 2 weeks, Jake had said. Maybe 3. I could do this. I had to. Because Jake was right about one thing. Ashley wasn't the person I thought she was. But she was about to find out I wasn't either. The clock read 4:17 a.m. when I opened my laptop and started a new document titled Renovation Budget Q2 XLXX. If Ashley woke up and saw me working, she'd think nothing of it. I'd been pulling late nights on the Westwood project for weeks. But this spreadsheet had nothing to do with architecture. I created columns, date, time, Ashley's stated location, actual location, supporting evidence, witnesses. Then I started filling it in, working backward from last night. March 15th. Dinner with Kristen from work. Actually, Tyler's apartment, 8:30 p.m. to 11:45 p.m. Evidence, location data, Instagram story timestamp. Witnesses, Tyler, possibly others at 847 followers. March 12th. Late meeting with doctors in Pasadena. Actually, Culver City apartment, 7:15 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Evidence, location data. Witnesses, unknown. March 8th. Gym and grocery shopping. Actually, Tyler's apartment, 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Evidence, location data. No grocery receipts in our shared credit card statement. My hands moved mechanically across the keyboard. Each entry was a small act of violence against the life I thought we had. February 27th. Conference call from hotel. Actually, Tyler's apartment, 9 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. Evidence, location data shows overnight stay. Witnesses, Tyler. Hotel staff who can confirm she never checked in. That one made me stop. She'd spent the entire night there. I remembered that morning. She'd come home around 7 a.m., complained about the hotel's terrible coffee, kissed my cheek while I made breakfast. I'd made her eggs, scrambled the way she liked them. My phone buzzed. A text from Jake. Can't sleep either? Don't do anything stupid. Diane will call you at 9 a.m. I responded, working on documentation. 3 dots appeared, then, good. Cold and methodical wins. Emotion loses. I went back to the spreadsheet. By 5:30 a.m., I had 42 entries spanning 3 months. 42 lies. 42 times she'd looked me in the eye and told me she was somewhere else, doing something else, being someone else. But the Culver City apartment kept nagging at me. 4 visits total, all on days when Tyler's Instagram showed him training clients or at the beach. The timestamps didn't overlap even once. I opened a new browser tab and pulled up the address again. 4487 Sepulveda Boulevard, Unit 312. Google Street View showed a modern complex, maybe 5 years old. Nice, but not luxury. The kind of place a young professional might rent. I searched the address in Ashley's email. Nothing. I tried her text messages. Nothing. Then I remembered. She'd gotten a new phone 2 months ago, claimed her old one was glitching. She'd set up the new one herself, said she'd transfer everything over. But what if she hadn't? What if she deliberately left certain things behind? Her old phone was in her nightstand drawer. I knew because I'd seen it there last week when I was looking for the TV remote. I glanced at the bedroom door. Still closed. I could hear Ashley's breathing, deep and steady. I moved quietly, each step deliberate. The drawer slid open without a sound. The phone was there, beneath a tangle of old charging cables and a stack of takeout menus we never used. I took it into the bathroom and closed the door. The phone was dead. I plugged it into the charger by the sink and waited. The screen remained black for 30 seconds. Then the Apple logo appeared. No passcode. She'd never set one up before getting the new phone. I opened her messages first. Most were mundane. Confirmations from her dentist, spam from retailers, group texts with her mom and sister. Then I scrolled back to January. A number I didn't recognize. Tomorrow at 3? Ashley's response. Perfect. I'll bring the wine. The next message, 2 days later. Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you. Ashley. Same. Thursday? Unknown number. Can't. Out of town until Monday. Miss you already. My throat tightened. I scrolled further. December messages? November. The conversation went back 5 months, not 3. And the tone was different from what I'd seen with Tyler. More intimate, less physical. These messages talked about art galleries and wine tastings, inside jokes about NPR podcasts, plans to see a documentary at the New Art Theater. Tyler was a personal trainer who posted gym selfies and protein shake recipes. This person quoted Joan Didion. I checked the Culver City address against the messages. Nothing explicit, but on February 18th. Your place at 7? I'll bring dinner. The location data showed Ashley at Sepulveda Boulevard that night from 7:15 to 11:30 p.m. 2 affairs, not one. 2 completely different people. I sat on the edge of the bathtub, the old phone trembling in my hands. Tyler was the obvious one, the cliché, the personal trainer with the sculpted body and the Venice Beach lifestyle. He was the affair that made sense in a sick, predictable way. But this other person, this was something else. This was emotional, intellectual. The messages showed genuine conversation, shared interests, inside jokes that had developed over months. Which one did she love? Or did she love either of them? Did she still love me? I opened the photos on the old phone. Most were duplicates of what she'd transferred to the new device. Pictures of us, our house, her family, but buried in an album labeled Work Docs were photos she'd kept hidden. The first showed Ashley at a restaurant I didn't recognize. She was laughing, wine glass raised, wearing the blue dress she'd worn to her company holiday party. Except she'd told me the party was canceled due to weather. The second photo showed her at an art gallery, standing in front of a massive abstract painting. A man's arm was visible at the edge of the frame, hand resting on her lower back. The third photo made my blood run cold. Ashley and a woman, mid-30s, dark hair, striking features. They were kissing. Not a friendly peck. A real kiss, intimate and unguarded. The background showed a living room. Modern furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows, a view of the city. The photo was dated January 23rd. I zoomed in on the windows, trying to identify landmarks. The angle suggested somewhere elevated, maybe 4th or 5th floor. The view faced east, downtown LA visible in the distance. 4th floor, Sepulveda Boulevard. Unit 312. My wife was having an affair with a woman. 2 affairs. One with Tyler, one with this woman. Or maybe Tyler was the distraction, the obvious affair meant to hide the real one. I heard movement from the bedroom. Ashley's alarm, the one she set for 6 a.m. on weekdays. I powered down the old phone, shoved it back in the drawer, and returned to the living room. My laptop was still open, the spreadsheet glowing in the pre-dawn darkness. I added a new column. Additional parties involved. Then I heard the shower start. Ashley's morning routine, same as always. Shower, coffee, makeup, out the door by 7:15. I had 3 hours until Diane called. I opened Instagram on my fake account and searched for profiles connected to Ashley's secret account. I filtered by female followers in the Los Angeles area, ages 30-40. The third profile stopped me cold. Or Claire Reedsley. 2,147 followers. Bio. Literary agent, wine enthusiast, permanent resident of the New Art Theater. She, her. The profile picture showed the same dark-haired woman from Ashley's hidden photo. Claire, something. I clicked through to her posts. Photos of book covers and author events, wine recommendations, screenshots of NPR articles. A picture from the Broad Museum dated February 3rd, the same day Ashley told me she was visiting a client in San Diego. And there, buried in a post from January, a photo of a living room with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of downtown LA. Caption: Finally finished decorating my new place. Minimalism is harder than it looks. The same living room from Ashley's hidden photo. I screenshot everything. Added it to a new folder labeled Evidence Claire. The shower shut off. I heard Ashley humming something, a Taylor Swift song, one of the new ones I didn't know. She emerged 20 minutes later, wrapped in a towel, hair wet and combed back. "You're up early," she said, not quite looking at me. "Westwood project. The client wants revisions by Thursday." She nodded, moving to the closet. "I have a full day. Meeting in Irvine at 10, then drinks with the regional team tonight. Probably won't be home until late." I checked her calendar. It showed Dr. Patterson, Irvine Medical Center, 10 a.m., and team dinner, Ruth's Chris, 7 p.m. I pulled up the location sharing. She hadn't left the house yet, so the map showed our address. "Which Ruth's Chris?" I asked casually. "The one in Newport. Why?" "Just curious. Have fun." She selected a black dress, professional but form-fitting, the kind she wore when she wanted to impress someone. "You okay?" she asked, finally meeting my eyes. "You seem distant." The audacity of it nearly broke me. She was asking if I was okay. If I seemed distant. "Just tired," I said. "This project is killing me." She crossed the room and kissed my forehead. Her lips were cold. "You work too hard," she said softly. "We should plan a vacation. Get away for a while." "Sure, that sounds nice." She smiled, squeezed my shoulder, and went to finish getting ready. I watched her move through our bedroom. This woman I'd loved for 9 years. This stranger who kissed other people and lied about her location and maintained secret social media accounts. 2 affairs. Maybe more. My phone buzzed at exactly 9 a.m. Unknown number. This is Diane Kruger. Jake gave me your information. Are you available to talk? I glanced at Ashley's empty coffee cup in the sink. She'd left 10 minutes ago, heading to Irvine, or to Claire's apartment, or to Tyler's place, or to somewhere else entirely, somewhere I hadn't discovered yet. I typed back, yes, call now. The phone rang 3 seconds later. Diane's investigation took 11 days. 11 days of living with a ghost, sharing meals with a stranger who wore my wife's face. 11 days of documented lies, photographed meetings, time-stamped evidence that built into something undeniable. Tyler wasn't the main affair, he was the decoy, the obvious distraction meant to hide what Ashley really wanted. Claire Donovan, literary agent, wine enthusiast, resident of Unit 312 at the Madison in Culver City. They'd met at a pharmaceutical conference 14 months ago. What started as professional networking had evolved into something Ashley had hidden with meticulous care. The financial records told their own story. Ashley had opened a credit card in her maiden name, technically legal but deliberately concealed. $47,000 spent over 9 months. Hotel rooms, jewelry, a weekend trip to San Francisco I'd known nothing about. Diane's report included receipts, security footage, even a recording of Ashley checking into a Marina Del Rey hotel with Claire, while I'd been home believing she was at a medical conference in Phoenix. Tyler had been the smokescreen, the masculine affair that fit the narrative, the one that would make sense if I ever got suspicious. But Claire was real. Claire was who Ashley imagined a future with. The divorce papers were served on a Thursday morning. I'd moved my essential belongings out the night before while Ashley was supposedly at dinner with her sales team, actually at Claire's apartment, according to Diane's surveillance photos. Ashley called me 17 times that day. I didn't answer. My attorney had advised complete silence unless legally required. The settlement took 4 months. California's community property laws meant splitting everything 50-50 in theory, but the documented dissipation of marital assets changed the mathematics. Ashley had spent our money, my money, earned during 60-hour work weeks while she built her secret life, on hotels and gifts for her affairs. The judge wasn't sympathetic to her arguments. Neither was her attorney, actually, once they saw the evidence. 800 pages of documentation. Bank statements highlighted in yellow. Location data cross-referenced with calendar entries. Text messages recovered from her old phone. Diane's surveillance photos showing Ashley entering Claire's apartment on 17 separate occasions. Ashley kept the house initially, but couldn't afford the mortgage on her pharmaceutical sales income alone. She'd been counting on my architect's salary, on the partnership I'd made 3 months into the divorce proceedings. The house sold in June. After splitting the proceeds and reimbursing me for the dissipated assets, Ashley walked away with less than she'd started with. Tyler's Instagram went private permanently. His business license showed he'd relocated to San Diego. I didn't follow his trajectory beyond that. He'd been a catalyst, nothing more. Claire and Ashley lasted another 7 months after the divorce finalized. I know because Ashley's secret Instagram account remained active, documenting their relationship with the same careful curation she'd once applied to our marriage. Then the posts stopped. The account went dark. I stopped checking after that. I sold the Westwood Project building for $18 million. Made partners 6 months after the divorce papers were served. Bought a smaller house in Manhattan Beach with an ocean view and no memories attached. Max the Labrador adjusted better than I expected. He'd always been more my dog anyway. Jake and I still meet for coffee occasionally. He never says, "I told you so," but I can see it in his expression when I thank him for pushing me to document everything, to stay methodical when I wanted to burn it all down. The psychological aftermath took longer than the legal process. Therapy helped. So did time. So did understanding that Ashley's choices were about her own emptiness, not my inadequacy. She'd wanted something I couldn't provide because She'd never articulated what that something was. Maybe she hadn't known herself. 2 years later, I can sleep through the night. I can look at couples without calculating the odds of their honesty. I can imagine trusting someone again, though I haven't tested that theory yet. I learned that betrayal doesn't announce itself with dramatic revelations. It hides in plain sight, in shared calendars and joint bank accounts, in good morning kisses and casual lies. It wears the face of someone you love and speaks in the voice you trust most. I learned that documentation isn't paranoia, it's protection. That intuition deserves investigation, not dismissal. That the person who seems most trustworthy might be the one who's practiced deception longest. But mostly I learned this. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Not who they pretend to be in public, not who they promise to become, but who they reveal themselves to be when they think you're not watching. Ashley showed me exactly who she was at 2:47 a.m. on a random Tuesday. Everything that followed was just accepting the truth I'd been avoiding. I'm not grateful for the betrayal. I wouldn't choose to experience it again, but I'm grateful I discovered it when I did. Grateful I had people who helped me navigate it strategically. Grateful I documented everything before confronting anything. The alternative would have been years more of living a fiction, investing in a marriage that existed only in my imagination. That would have been the real tragedy. Not the betrayal itself, but never knowing it happened. Now I know. And knowing, however painful, is always better than the comfortable lie. I rebuilt my life on that foundation of uncomfortable truth. No shared calendars, no joint accounts, no assumptions about anyone's location or honesty. Some people might call that cynicism. I call it wisdom, purchased at considerable cost. The notification that changed everything still lives in my phone's screenshot folder. I keep it not as a wound to pick at, but as a reminder. Trust is earned through consistency, not claimed through proximity. Love without honesty is just elaborate pretending, and I'm done pretending.